So team, welcome to the JPACT training. It's our 12th batch and in the Feb of 2020. I'm going to create a new folder and start documenting everything there. Let us consider today to be our orientation session, where I walk you through a few things, not too much, but mainly as to what the program is and how we're gonna start executing. So this is more like day 0, 12 orientation. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. Sorry team for my bad voice. Still trying to recover out of the flu things. Should be good maybe in a week. All right. So team, most importantly, JPACT stands for Job Placement and Certified Training. So there are a few things that I will walk you through as I go along, team. Most importantly, what is Workasa? We are a QA automation company, and when you go to our website workasa.com, you will notice what we do. So primarily our focus has been on 3 verticals. One is itelearn.com. See, that's our learning and project platform. So how we kind of interact on doing things. AnyAUT is our QA automation product, framework product that we currently have it being implemented by clients. And QA on it is still something in its infancy. I believe the market still needs to shape up a little before it can get launched. Primarily, it is to be able to offer freelance QA services over the air, like basically remote. Now, these 3 have been something that we've been working on, team. Now, it's pretty easy for us to primarily focus on just the training aspect of it. And what we do here primarily has been focused on QA automation. We started with UFT or qtp, which now became UFT, and the micro focus still holds it. There's been a lot of clutter and talk on some of these. And we've seen some of these, then we've gone to things like Selenium, with Python, with Java, with C#. So many ways that we've kind of gone through it. We have performance testing, and I would say a bunch of things, team. The best way to look at it is go to our portal, itelearn.com, and look at all the content that we've been developing over the last few years now. I don't think we have too much content from 2009 or 10 and 11 that is still relevant enough, but we keep upgrading them. So you would notice a lot of courses that could be of interest to you. And finally, what is very important, and others, just to shorten it. What becomes most important, team, for us is in terms of how we set our goal in mind. So team, I would love to understand from the audience. So far, everything good? Audience? I would love to have a few poll questions, but before that, let me see. I think these are the only 2 relevant questions for me, team. When it comes to JPACT, while we have talked about Eclipse membership, I put a small poll in front of you, team. It's saying, have you worked on a real-time automation project earlier? When I say automation, I'm referring to QA automation. Let it be a real-time team. I'm not asking if you're trained on it or not, just if you worked on it. And that's a very key aspect of how we want to approach things. Okay, team, a few more seconds on that. All right, I think I'm going to close it in the next 5 seconds. I've got about 67%, 71% votes in. Can I request all of you to just say yes or no, please? On the poll, not on the chat. Click on the button on the poll, team, that you see on the screen, everyone. Can I get you all to finish your polls? All right, I'm going to close it in the next few seconds then. We've got about 76%. I don't know why the remaining 24% are not voting in. Typically, all sessions team, I get 90% plus votes in participation. So the newer participants also joining in. All right, close it and let's share it. So I think team, we have a good percentage of us who worked on automation projects, and that's 39%. And this is a real-time stats. Most of us, however, 60% of us did not get a chance to work on it. But team, that is the significant difference. Now, there is a lot to talk about in terms of testing and so on. But let me talk briefly about, let me hide this. Have you all seen the polls, team, the results of it? Now, team, there are two types of membership. There's IT Learn membership where you have live and video access to our training content. That's one. Then there's JPACT. What happened? Trying to get this to move back. Please change. You know, I think this is the reason. Now, when it comes to JPACT team, we're talking about more about job placement and certified training. Sorry, I'm still having to go through some of the basics on it. Also includes your IT Learn membership. Now, as part of JPACT, you have a lot of things, team, that go on. Number one are projects that we will work on. Second are certification courses, primarily ACT plus ACD. We'll talk a little bit about them. What else is there? Then we have the whole chart of CV/resume prep help. Then we get into mock interviews, and this is where we need to do both as groups and one-on-one. Project, certification, CV, mock interviews. Then we have placement assistance. get you on, either with your own profile and whoever you join, or through our organizations. Now, what's important for us, team, is to understand where it comes from. Who is it for? So if it's JPACT, cycle and membership is perfect for someone already working currently in QA, looking to upgrade skills, implement at work, or look out for a in or out team. I'm not sure. For a better role. So you're trying to grow up in your career. And that's where you feel you need that kind of a skill set. The JPACT team is very simple. You're either a beginner or you're someone who has a gap in career. You have no coding or programming, computers experience. The team strongly yes to MS Office. I mean that Excel, little bit of PPT, doc, you must be able to manage. I will guide you, but that's something that I want you to start. I don't expect anything else, team. It's also for active job seekers. The other membership, not necessarily they're active because they're already in a job, they're looking at career development. You're looking at a career restart or a career fresh start. So the whole approach is different. Someone here may be looking at courses that last from 1 week to, I don't know, 2 months and so on, depending on what they're looking at. A JPACT ticket typically takes, I would say, nothing less than 3 months, 3 to 6 months. And that's with a lot of hands-on. How it works is very simple, team. We have a set of trainings that we will go through. And that's the same thing that I've kind of mentioned in the webinar as well. Let me quickly pull that up. And team, as you have questions, please keep reaching out. Let's keep it interactive as much as we can. What's coming up right now is more of a schedule of how and what we want to do. And there's a couple of few steps that we want to talk about. Actually, things are part of this. All right, let's see. QA and automation in 2020, team. This is something that I would take as a subject. Let me plan that somewhere around 18th or 19th Feb. It's around 19th Feb of webinar. And team, just FYI, I'm also little honored. I don't think I have it on this system. Maybe I'll show it from a different one. I don't even have the link right now. To be participating as a speaker in one of our testing conferences that's going to be happening in Los Angeles. My screen is still there. Someone in Australia, sure. And Man, if I'm not able to connect with you, please reach me offline. I'll talk to you about Australia specific. Can you all see the screen back, team? So copy the webinar details onto what we want to do. This is a very important one as well, team. I want you to talk about what are those ways that you can build based on the QA and automation thing that we're talking about. Sorry. So that would be one day after, maybe 20th Feb. All right. So team, the most important thing that we will start with is the JPACT, part of the JPACT training here. So for beginners to master manual testing, and this is a key training, the AnyAUT certified tester. So if I go to AnyAUT.com and show you the application by itself, it's got a lot of depth into it, team. If I log into it as a user, you would see a lot of functionalities and features that it holds and how we can go about building all our QA and automation tests within this application. Now, the advantage of such a thing is that when we go about learning AnyAUT, it tells us that one, you know the QA fundamentals. It says that I don't need coding experience, but it also highlights that need automation frameworks knowledge. You need to know what they are, how we can implement them. Now, going forward, you will see a lot of products coming out into the QA industry. They'll all speak about automation frameworks and how each of them are implementing it. There's also the AI and machine learning team. I'll come to it later. Don't worry too much on that as of now. It gives you to understand how automation works, especially element identification and automation of commands. We will get into a little bit about, I think all of this is here, Selenium ID and element identification that goes into it. So this would give us a good foothold, team. And in tomorrow's session, I'm going to walk you through how we'll go about executing some of these and writing our tests, automation tests in an Excel. Now this AnyAUT certified tested training, say, would be about 6 to 7 days, and that would set your base, team, to be able to go forward to the next level. And here we will start doing a lot of coding activities. Let's try and get our hands on to it. Let's do a lot of assignments and do small project implementations to it. We don't want to do anything large, team, as we're building a skill set. Then comes about implementing frameworks at the code. So primarily out here in the first AnyAUT certified tester training and certification team, we are learning the basics of how automation tools are going to be working. Then we slowly get into more of coding and then getting into how WebDriver works, how automation framework works and so on. So one step at a time. Are we all good so far? Any questions, team? I'm just putting up a schedule, what we do. A lot of buzz around CI/CD, and totally yes, why we need it. So we're going to take this in a very practical examples and try and work on these, team. So once you got the grip, so as the next stage, you act like a developer who can build frameworks similar to AnyAUT. It's no rocket science team as to how AnyAUT got evolved, but just that how do you understand, how do you represent that? That's the reason that you need to be able to understand the implementation of it first as we go along, and then you get into the more details of how you can be a developer yourself. We're consistently doing some new trainings team. Oopsie. Python robot framework is something that we've launched recently. And I'm going to share you this document and a lot of links to it. All right, there we are. Python, there we go. So I think we've done about 8-9 sessions team. Here's the link to where the training videos are already getting hosted. Got a few on YouTube, and once you sign in, the remaining ones would be here. That's a critical skill as well to understanding. I'm not expecting all of us to pick everything, but the training will continue with these. It is primarily to get you to understand as to how different tools are working in the marketplace team. And so will we work on UFT, how VB scripting works on that, descriptive programming, very critical, similar to identification of elements on Selenium, frameworks, and a lot of internal concepts that a UFT comes up. UFT is your unified functional testing. Earlier with HP, it was actually with Mercury Windrunner, then to HP. Now it's with Microforce. All right. And so if you notice team, the part of Selenium becomes very, very limited. It doesn't go too extended. Like this is Selenium WebDriver, of course. There's a lot more with frameworks and coding that we'll have to involve into. API is a big one team. How can we do both API programming and through the code and use tools like Postman to do it? If time permits, I'll definitely touch upon more like how we do container, Dockers, Kubernetes, and so on. But I think this is what we'll focus on team. CI/CD, GitHub, Jenkins, Maven is again a very, very critical thing. You need to understand how it works in the continuous testing life cycle. Now, this is the typical skill set that is required team when we are looking at applying for job application, any jobs. That's what JPACT will focus on. So we're going to start with AnyAUT certified tester training. This is going to be about 5 to 6 days of training team. It'll get us going with the basics very, very well. For Java, this time I want to spend a little bit more time independently without really involving Selenium or anything. I would give it about 10 to 12 days. Okay, this by itself will take another 6 days. When I say day team, each is an hour of training. Then when we implemented it, gets you need 1 hour of training, requires 2 hours of practice from your end. So please keep that in mind. CI/CD, I think we can do it in about 2.5 days. So I wouldn't think, let's put it as 3 days. Now, AnyAUT certified tester training and certification, we're almost there with it. Then will be code walkthrough. This will be another 2 days team. 3 days. Python robot framework by itself team is something which will take about 15 to 20 days. So that's optional. Java or Python for now. Go with Java. Start with J and compile it. It's easier to learn Python team. So it's then let's start with the worst one. Not worst, but tougher one, Java, and then come back to this. Unified functional testing is something that's picking up a lot of buzz in the market again. So I think it's a good skill for you to look at. I'll spend a few days on this, maybe about 7 days. With learning everything so far, this will be easy then. API Postman. So let's spend a couple of days on this. And this has got nothing to do with your cert, all of these other activities team, okay? That individual by itself. So that we're looking at primarily, so I already wrote here, 7, okay, 6, 10. In the worst, 80 in here, 20, 3, 6. It's 30 days team. Then your UFT is plus 7 days, 5 plus robot framework would be another 20 days. That's additional. This is optional for us. All right. All right, so there we are. We are in the orientation session. This will continue. The only thing I've decided is on the timing team because the Python ongoing sessions are clashing as well. Figure that out. From a JPACT perspective, certifications and live projects, lot of activities team. And in fact, we're doing a lot on GitHub itself. Start with this AnyAUT certified tester training team. There are absolutely, how do I say this? No prereqs needed. It's a great place to start. I'll walk you through how it works, but more importantly, how we execute team. Simple tests. Team, I'm good at my end. That's all I have to share for today. And there's a lot we will do as the activities, but I'm open to questions. What you will see next from me are if you have any questions, let it keep coming, team. I'll end this after that. Schedule of trainings, schedule of live projects. Actually, even the schedule of exams I'm trying to do, but most of you have been missing, team. Those 3. Next is Skype groups, team. We all work in Skype groups for each course. I'm not seeing any big gaps right now. I think it should be going steady. AnyAUT will be very similar to Quality Center team. Tomorrow I'll show you how it works on AnyAUT on a GitHub project. So I'm going to show you how we can all get to GitHub and start downloading some of the AnyAUT projects. So that's AnyAUT. It's a private project which you don't have an access to. What we have is called as a AnyAUT runner. It's being used by JPACT 10 and 11th batch as of now. As we go forward, I'll keep guiding you, team. Projects. There you go. That's the 446 MB application. I wish I had a little small demo to show you, team, but I'll show it to you tomorrow. How we can do a demo on AnyAUT. It's not similar to Quality Center, but you can do a lot of things similarly. What if a beginner can't catch up? Team, please note that it takes at least a couple of attempts for us to get going. But the way that the sessions are spread across, I think you'll not have a big challenge on it. We need little effort, team, and availability from your side. Then I think we could. All right, everyone. I think that's about it from my side for today. I'll see you back tomorrow again. All the communication as to the schedule and so on, I'm going to do it on the GoToWebinar. And team, I'll not be sending any of these links to you because I will be putting them, at least the free ones, onto a channel. So please subscribe onto it there. So any new videos that are coming across and are being put here, so I would love you to please make sure that you're joining them. youtube.com/qtp.elearn. What's your question, Manjula? What about ITLN membership? Yes, so so all these demo videos are here. Once you're an ITLN member, you basically come to the website, you log in, and you basically get an access to all the premium content that is otherwise not available. So instead of logging in, just to show you, and I go back to online courses. For example, the JPACT program is going on, this Python that I'm doing right now. So I'm on to Python, and I'm going to go training center, and that's the one. So team, again, Java or Python, don't be confused. What I want you to do as JPACT 12th batch new members and the previous JPACT members who are joining into this is follow the program. All right. What we will continue to do in each session. That'll be fine for us. So team, anyone looking for Selenium training specifically, you can take the regular ITLN memberships. Okay. You don't need to take JPACT. And for example, go to Selenium. There are constant batches on Selenium that happen. Videos are there. You can start learning from that. So it's very simple, team. Like I said, here is how it is. If you're working in a project, you already are there and all's good, take ITLN membership. If you're not working, you have a gap, you're a beginner and so on, then you've got to go with the JPACT membership. So that's a Selenium training. Now go under training. And these are the latest ones that are going on, team, right now. Selenium with Java was happening and with Python. This was an earlier one, but with Java, that's the last one. So you can go back with the videos of it as well. If you are unable to wait to be able to catch up with us, team. We're 22 sessions in this. All of this, you can start accessing. Absolutely, you can speak, team, in the sessions. Let me tell you how the speaking part happens. A lot of the questions team come during projects. Okay. Support. Let's talk about Skype. You'll have either reach us, reach your groups that you are training or working with. So you basically get your tech support. What was the question? Sorry. Oh, yes. So now when it comes to live training, what happens here, team, is all looks fine as you are, as you are listening. Questions during practice, post practicing offline, post on Skype. That's or raise your hand to unmute or share your screen at any time. So I keep pausing, team. You do a lot of assignments. So you get to speak, you get to share your screen. Just consolidate your question, put it correctly, because there's also the audience in there, and we can go through it. Okay. And a lot of these will happen also in groups, team. So that's big. Great. Thank you, everyone. Look forward. I'll see you back in the next session. That's tomorrow, same link. Please use it. You'll get an email with any change in it. I will share the Skype groups as I create them and the schedule for these trainings accordingly. Okay. We're timely getting started with a few basic things. I will guide you a lot more. JPACT has a lot of content, team. We've built a lot of courses around it. I want to make sure that we're all correctly aligned and at no point are you confused. Quickly, I want to show you the links to this. So this, for example, what we've been doing last year, a lot of these courses team, and with links of them. And I strongly recommend for you to get going with them, take a look at what are there, everything there. I'm going to post it here. It's got the videos and everything. We'll keep adding to the same list. I'll send you the names of the Skype groups team. Once I know the confirmed participation, then I'll start sending it across. That's right. I'll be doing the Selenium training as well. Team, any other questions, let me know. Or let's correct tomorrow. I just want to quickly get you all rolling with it. A little bit more starting with AnyAUT training tomorrow, team. So let's take a look at how we can get into manual testing, manual to automation. Thank you, everyone. Bye then. See you tomorrow. Bye.